Hey everyone, so I'm here with Chris. You met him last week. He is my trainer, and we are here to answer your questions you guys asked through YouTube and Instagram. So without further ado, let's just get into them. So this first one comes from Neon Child. My question for you guys, what would you recommend to someone who's never stepped foot in a gym before? What kind of workouts or equipment should one start with for upper strength specifically?
Well, I mean, for upper strength, it's honestly, I'd say you just gotta jump into it. I mean, you really can't be afraid. You know, the gym is for everybody. It isn't just for certain types of people or whatever the fitness level is. It's for everyone. You deserve to be there just as much as anyone else. So as far as the workouts go, I would probably recommend starting off with free weights, going on the lighter end of things, starting off with 2.5 pounds, work your way up, stick with the basics, and then move from there.
So this next one comes from Hooks. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. We'll just summarize this question to be, what are some at-home workouts, or for people who are just getting into weight training, what would you recommend for something they can do at home?
So at home, it can definitely be done. You are limited, but it can, like I said, it can still be done. What I tell for my clients and for people who ask me, what they should do at home, if you have the small dumbbells, use dumbbells, resistance bands, medicine balls. It might require a small investment picking these things up, but it'll go a long way in terms of doing it at home. As far as the workouts are considered, I would say circuit training or small interval training, or pretty much high intensity interval training. Okay. Keeping it very short, anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes max with a decent intensity level.
So like HIIT workout type things?
HIIT workout, absolutely, guys.
Okay. I have a playlist actually on my channel, you guys can check it out, full of HIIT workouts I found all over YouTube that I really like doing. So if you guys want to check that out, I will leave a link to that below. So the next question is from Destiny from Fat Girl That's Fab. So she's asking me, did I put in a lot of research to finding a personal trainer? So I guess I'll go ahead and turn that around. She also asks, what sort of things should you look for when looking for a personal trainer? Or if you're like first time personal training, looking for someone, it's your first time, what would you recommend looking for in a trainer?
That's an awesome question. First off, connection and communication. At the end of the day, it is a relationship that you will be having with a trainer, so having a connection with this person and feeling like you get along with personalities and vibes and all that, that is huge. Connection first and foremost. Second is communication. If your trainer isn't a good communicator, whether it's just even during the sessions, outside of the sessions, what have you, they're just lacking that, I would say probably keep looking. That is one thing that you really want in a trainer, because you're looking for guidance at the end of the day. Guidance and to expedite the process of getting in shape on your fitness journey. So, like I said, connection and communication be first and foremost. Yeah, obviously you want to make sure that they're knowledgeable in what they're doing. Also finding someone who is knowledgeable in nutrition as well, because that is 80% of it.
Chris, I think he gives me a lot of pointers through our workouts on where I should be feeling it, my form, and like how to properly do it to hit the right muscles. So yeah, I definitely recommend communication, because I have heard of people getting trainers where they just like don't talk to them during the session. Let's say do this, and then they do it and like they end up not building the right muscles or not having the right form and end up like hurting themselves. So. And
lastly, and during the session, yes, you are there to get in shape. You are there to gain knowledge and what you got to do for your fitness journey. But at the end of the day, it should also be a great experience. It should be fun, guys. It shouldn't be a bad experience. You shouldn't be dreading it. It shouldn't be awkward. You should feel very comfortable during the sessions and having fun. Yeah. That's the most important part.
Definitely, yeah. You should look forward. You should wake up like, I love coming into working out with Chris, and you should definitely look forward to going into workout with your personal trainer. All right, so this next one is from Tara. What would you recommend as the best way to stay motivated when it comes to working out and working with a personal trainer, or just increasing your fitness level like while on a weight loss journey?
So to stay motivated, guys, it really it coincides with your goals. So if your goals should always constantly be changing, and I recommend this to my clients every 30 to 60 days, reevaluate and set the bar a little bit higher. That's probably the main thing I can say is staying motivated. At the end of the day, it is something that you got to have inside that you want to do. If you're truly doing it for yourself, I don't think you're going to have a problem staying motivated. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you're probably going to have a problem. So as long as you get that in check and make sure you're doing it for yourself and reevaluating and setting the bar higher and pushing yourself to your goals, to your limits, and your potential, you really shouldn't have a problem with that.
So this next question is one we actually talked about, and one that I know you said differs. I'm going to go ahead and ask it. How much time does it take to transform the body in general from fat to fit? And how many days in the gym will it take to see results? Keep in mind that they're following good nutrition. Again, we don't know what that means, but overall, do you have any input as far as seeing results, how long it takes, how many times you should be in the gym a week?
Yeah, that's a pretty decent question. Yes, I do get this question a lot. The diet's on point, everything's good to go. I would say a minimum of 3 days a week, nothing less. Anything less than that, you're not really going to see the results in the right time frame. And as far as the time frame to go from fat to fit,
Yeah, that's
I would say expect anywhere 6 to 9 months, and that's just a lot of hard work though. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not falling off. It's really making it a top 3 priority in your life, but it can be done. You know, you just gotta stick to it.
Okay, so this next one comes from Cindy. Sometimes I'm running late and limited on time at the gym. So which is a must, a warm up or a cool down? And she also wanted to know if you'd be able to explain the different types of ellipticals and what areas they focus on. Which would you say is a must, the warm up or cool down? If you're
an absolute must, I would say is a warm up. I mean, at the end of the day, you should have both. But if you're really crunched on time, I'd say a warm up is by far the more important because you're warming up to prevent injury. Okay, so you get injured, it's going to put you out of the gym for quite some time. As far as your question about the ellipticals, it's really just cardio based. I mean, yes, you are getting light muscle stimulation in your legs, you know, calves, glutes, hamstrings, stuff like that. I wouldn't really focus on that if you're looking to build your legs or to build any type of part of your body, but look at cardio as just what it is, cardio.
Okay, so this next one is for you specifically about training. What is the most important aspect in keeping your clients motivated, and how do you keep your clients interested?
And that kind of goes back to really what they want. At the end of the day, I'd like to say that it would be nice to say that I motivate them, but at the end of the day, you really can't. Someone's really got to want it internally. You can't light a fire, you can only, you know,
stoke it.
Exactly, you can only stoke the fire, thank you. I can only help it burn hotter, I can't start it for you.
Okay.
So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, it is, again, reevaluating their goals and seeing if their goals are their potential. Sometimes, I'll be honest, people don't set the bar high enough for themselves. They think, you know what, I only want to lose 10 pounds. Well, if you really want to, you know, challenge yourself, let's take it above and beyond and see what you can really do. So I'm really big on setting high goals. That, for me, tends to keep myself motivated, my clients motivated. But at the end of the day, if you start losing motivation, the odds are you got to look in the mirror on that one.
To be fair, you do help stoke the fire motivation during our workouts.
I should hope so. Thank you.
Okay, so this next question comes from Viv, and she wants to know, is every day should she do full body or should she do like a split where like upper body, lower body, abs cardio, that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, that's another good question. You know, the training world, there can be a lot of rocket science to it and it's very confusing at times. But to be honest, there really is no, I mean, there's a correct way to do things, but every trainer has their own method. Some people might do full body workouts. I wouldn't recommend doing them every other day. Again, I don't know the intensity level that you're doing them. For me, what I would recommend for somebody is to be a little bit more focused on their workouts. You know, if you're gonna work out a few muscle groups in that day, pick 2 to 3 that already work synergistically together. You know, what I recommend for people if they're training 3 days a week is to do an upper body push day, which means all the muscles that push together in the body, your chest, your shoulders, your triceps. A leg day, which is pretty much everything from the waist down, and then an upper body pull day, which is pretty self-explanatory. Everything that pulls in your body, your back, your lats, your low back, your biceps, your traps, all that kind of stuff. Everything that already works together, opposed to having your blood bouncing from your legs to your upper body to all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I know personally, once I was doing like cardio and like just working out every day, trying to hit like a bunch of different things, I didn't really know what I was doing, to be totally honest. But now that I've moved, I do a workout split now, and like we focus on specific areas during our 1 session a week. I find that I see a big of a difference, not only in my energy, but in like my stamina actually in the gym, whereas compared to I'm doing like a full body workout every single day.
Yeah.
I get tired. Like,
no, absolutely.
And my muscle fatigue, like it's bad. So yeah, I mean, personally, I would recommend a workout split, but also I would maybe consult with someone or like do some research before you decide what that is going to be. All right, so these last 2 questions kind of go along with the question we already asked. How to choose the right trainer, what to look for in terms of credentials, backgrounds, reasonable prices.
So for credentials, guys, I mean, I'll tell you this. There are amazing trainers out there that aren't even certified, okay? At the end of the day, you want to know that whoever you're trusting your fitness results with, your journey with, that they just know what they're doing. There's a lot of bad trainers out there that have a lot of credentials. Obviously, you can go with NASM. You know, that's pretty much one of the top ones I could already recommend. So if you see that, the odds are they're going to know a little bit about what they're doing. Secondly, as far as like pricing and all that, that's really demographics. And at the end of the day, that's what you're willing to pay. You know, and as long as you see the value in that, you know, there's no really set price of what a trainer should be. You know, one trainer could feel that they're worth $200 an hour, the other could feel that they're worth $10 an hour. It really depends on who it is, and there's really no bar to decide who's right and who's wrong.
But yeah, I mean, I would definitely do some research. I think I got kind of lucky with, he actually reached out to me on Instagram, and I think it, it works out well, but I would definitely do some research as far as looking into that trainer before you commit, that kind of thing.
Another thing, so I will say this too as well, CPR. As long as, that's another credential. You would want to know that your trainer at least knows CPR if need be.
Do you know CPR?
I do.
Okay,
know CPR and AED.
Okay.
So I should be able to bring it back to that.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
One person said you did look like Justin Timberlake, so I mean.
Thank you.
For how long can weight training affect the number on the scale?
If it's strict weight training, to be honest, like if you're looking for the scale to go down, I can't really guarantee it is going to. It might actually jump up because you are stimulating the muscles in your body now. It's not just strictly for weight loss. Eventually, it helps with body recomposition, but to give you a time frame of how long before you see an adjustment on the scale, it could be as soon as a week. There's a lot of factors that come into that. It's not just the weight training, it's your nutrition, it's your cardio, it's everything combined. So it's kind of a tough question to answer of how long it would be just from weights to see a difference.
And I have one question that I would have liked to ask a personal trainer when I was at like my higher end of my weight at the beginning of the journey. I solely thought like I need to do cardio, I need to fat burn, I need to not go near the weights because I was afraid, like you just said, that my muscles would retain water and I may like gain muscle weight. And for some reason, I don't know, you guys can probably relate if you are on a weight loss journey to that, of being afraid of the weight area because you just want to burn fat and get the weight off. So for someone who's at the beginning of their journey, maybe a little bit afraid to go into the gym, afraid of weight training, would you recommend them doing some weight training with cardio, or what would you recommend for someone at the beginning of their journey? How should they go about addressing the gym?
I mean, depending on whatever state they're in, how much they weigh, or if they've lost function, mobility, stuff like that. Regardless, I recommend resistance training. It doesn't have to be weights, guys. It can be anything you want. It could be resistance bands. It could be weighted medicine balls. It could even just be body weight, so body weight exercise. So anything that is resistance based, not just cardio. So trust the process of putting everything together. So yes, your cardio is important, but so is the weight training, and so is the resistance training. Along with that, it's your proper nutrition. It's the trifecta. It's all three. Once you get all three going, then it's just a waiting game as far as the process of getting the results you want and staying on the course of your fitness journey.
Okay, so what would you recommend for someone? Would you recommend at the beginning of their journey to go into like group classes, or would you recommend private training? What would you think is the best? Because I know for me, I was pretty scared of group classes at the beginning.
100%, I'm a firm believer of private training. Some people, I know people do like the energy of having groups and having their friends and just having that light competitiveness. But for anyone who's just starting, I'm a firm believer that you guys need that soul attention. Soul attention for you, for your body, to see what works for you, to see what style of training you need to fall into. And even with that, between the difference of trainers, whether it's group or it's a private trainer, you're going to get a different experience. And so that's what I really encourage everyone to do. And also when it comes to whether you go to a corporate big box gym or a private studio, I'm even going to lean more towards a private studio. So a trainer who is self-employed, you're going to see a big difference based upon passion. Because once you go to all these big box gyms, I'm shooting some names out there, that your training level and their passion of what you're getting is going to drop. Okay.
Yeah.
When you go private, that is all these people do. That's all we do as trainers. Is we live, eat, and breathe this. So you're going to see a different level of passion, and not only should you see it, but you should feel it. So definitely recommend private all the way, one-on-ones and private trainers.
Yeah, I think that's so true because I know from experience the trainers at those big box corporate gyms, they're looking to sell. They're trying to sell. They're trying to make a quota, make a limit, or reach a certain number of clients, a certain number of money for the gym. Whereas, I totally agree, because I know when you meet like someone who does just training solely, doesn't work at a gym, trains like on their own, the passion is there and like the drive is there, and I feel like it's completely different. So I would completely agree. Well, I'm going to leave Chris's Instagram down below, as well as a link to Self-Made Training Facility. If you guys are in Costa Mesa, definitely reach out to Chris. Come by Self-Made Training Facility, hook up with Chris. He's awesome. If you guys are in the Costa Mesa area, they also have gyms all over California, but the Costa Mesa one is pretty cool. Like I said, I will leave Chris's links down below as well as my links. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if I did not get to your question for whatever reason, you can always message Chris or message me and I will get it to him and I will get you an answer back. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you guys for my weigh-in on Thursday.